That's where we're going to have the main threat for our tropical storm force winds. And when we say tropical storm force, that's greater than at least 40 miles per hour. These waters very warm. These storms really like these conditions. So this intensity can change.
We saw how destructive Mother Nature can be with Hurricane Irma, but what was so incredible about it was to see our community come together after the storm. I mean, this is a nice looking snowball, guys.
And with that front that moves through on Friday, it helps to really bring a nice cool down as we head towards next weekend. So something to look forward to. High alert for you guys. Not only are you going to see the strongest wind gusts, but your highest risk of tornadoes is going to start a little earlier.
Now that I think we are safe and we are going to have an awesome 4th of July, I'm going to take a little nap. We're heading into shore. But gosh, this is awesome out here.
Think of this as the cooler air sinking down, which gets that punched out look, or the mammatus clouds. Some of our most populated areas, especially at this time of day, we're talking Arlington, San Marco, all the way down to Bay Meadows.
The snow is still falling here. We are in downtown Waycross. The water tower is just right across the street here if you're familiar with the area. And we've got that frozen fountain still, the snow on the ground. It's a winter wonderland.
Put the query option on this and draw our little box to see just how many lightning strikes we have. 246, that's just within the past 15 minutes. They are visitors and they are having so much fun here in Florida, enjoying our beaches and this hot weather, right?
Yes. As we head further and further into the morning with this freezing rain accumulating on the ground, that could just cause some hazardous driving conditions and even just walking out on the sidewalk.
You can see the intense lightning and it really has not let up, which is a sign that this is still an intense thunderstorm. But recently you may have heard the phrase potential tropical cyclone. A tad complicated to recite over and over, but it is important to understand. Thankfully, everyone is okay, obviously visibly shaken up, talking to insurance companies and trying to get life back in order. Tropical storm force winds are incredible. The wind field goes on either side out from the center 185 miles. Through Labor Day, conditions are really not favorable for development. This storm is being ripped apart by wind shear. We could think of the oceans as kind of a dark spot for where we get our weather data. So can you talk about just how critical these little tools are? You all know who I'm rooting for thanks to the blue, and Heather even got the orange on for me today, so we're kind of a little Gator duo. It is moving slower than the average walking speed, which is just over 3 miles per hour. Another big factor, of course, is that storm surge. So north of the Cape Fear up towards Cape Lookout, Cape Hatteras, possibly 9 to 13 feet. But then as you head towards the Wilmington area, Bald Head Island down to North Myrtle Beach, 6 to 9 foot storm surge, possibly producing some intense wind gusts. We've had some reports here downtown of 53 miles per hour. So let's go ahead and track this out. Nassau Village, 6:03. From the time our clocks fall back to the time of the winter solstice on December 21st, we lose an additional 42 minutes of daylight. Those rainfall rates, believe it or not, are upwards of 4 inches in this particular storm. So very tough to drive on the roadways.
And it is snowing in Waycross. We are so excited. I have been waiting and waiting for that sleet to transition to snow.
Now, weather with your First Coast News storm experts, powered by AC Designs.
Some like it hot. Some runners even like it hot. Today was a hot day.
Yes.
No rain.
Yes, and if you didn't get out early enough, it was likely a day on the treadmill. Okay, I have some trivia for you.
I love it.
Word of the weekend is HELIOPHILIA.
Philia.
Any guess?
Love of the sun.
Oh,
sun worshipping.
Darn it. You know, I can never fool you, Jeff. All right, so this is my word of the weekend. The desire to stay in the sun and love of the sunlight. You know, it is so nice to see for once a nice clear blue sky since we've had so many darn thunderstorms in the past 2 weeks. This is the first day actually that the Jacksonville International Airport has not recorded any precipitation since July 22nd. Think back, that's 2 weeks of thunderstorms, folks, and 47 days total if you look at the month of June and July combined for days with thunder. So we've got this dry weather in place thanks to high pressure that is in control to our northeast, and it is bringing in that fresh, wonderful Atlantic sea breeze that was able to push well inland this afternoon. It will do the same on Sunday and then also again on Monday. We see the dry air building west, and actually I just glanced at our dew points map. We have some dew points right now in the upper 60s, lower dew points The drier the air, the less muggy it is, although it's still feeling warm and summery out there. High pressure is our beautiful weather maker because it suppresses the convection and or thunderstorm activity. This is going to eventually sink farther to our south, though, as we head towards Tuesday and Wednesday, and then a front is going to sneak in from the northwest. That is going to enhance the thunderstorm risk by Wednesday and into next weekend. Now, August is here, and the areas of origin for tropical systems expands across the Caribbean Sea, the Gulf of Mexico, even deeper out into the Atlantic. You can see those prevailing tracks typically come our way, right? August through September and October, those are our busiest months. And right now, thankfully, not looking so busy, but we are watching a little swirl out here well into the Atlantic. Just a low chance for any development with that within the next 5 days. Good news, it's likely to stay a fish storm and stay well away from us here at home. So some tropical reminders. Like I said, we're getting into the peak of our Atlantic hurricane season. You might think back, 1992. If you look at the numbers, a very quiet hurricane season, but think again, that A-named storm, again, when we say it only takes one, we mean it, because that ended up being Hurricane Andrew. Guess what? That A-named storm in 1992 did not even form until August 14th. So that just goes to show that we live in Florida or Southeast Georgia. You got to be prepared because, again, it only takes one. Leaving you with this beautiful 7-day forecast, and of course, I know I'm talking about the tropics, but we don't have anything to worry about for the next several days. Sweet old summertime sunshine.
Would you like it to be a little cooler? Maybe a lot cooler.
I was checking our Facebook messages today, and people were writing in, when is there going to be some relief? It has been hot, hot, hot.
Oh, it sure has. Summer is hanging on, I tell you. And actually, Saturday is our fall equinox, which is the start of astronomical fall. So I'm sorry, summer lovers, it is coming to an end. And yes, today was a hot one, just like it has been for the past several days. But you know what? 42 days till Halloween. Our average high by then is 77 degrees. 62 days till Thanksgiving. Our average high by then, 72 degrees. And then if we look ahead to Christmas, 97 days till that, and our high temperature by then will be 65 degrees. So we're on the downward trend, although things have been unusually hot this past week thanks to us being on the drier, warmer side of Florence, which is now well up in the northeast and actually pushing back out into the Atlantic. 94 degrees was our high temperature today, recorded at the Jacksonville International Airport. The record, 95 degrees, so just a degree shy of record high temperatures. That just goes to show how toasty it's been. We should be in the upper 80s, and yes, we aren't there just quite yet. We've got another day of this warm weather, and that's thanks to a cold front. Ahead of that cold front, we're seeing those very warm south breezes. Tomorrow it's going to come out of the west, and then we'll eventually see the breeze come out of the north and the east, which will cool things down late into the week. Ahead of the cold front, though, we do have a bit of instability, which is sparking some showers and storms, especially up towards southeast Georgia, and then farther to our south in southern Putnam and Flagler counties. Temperature-wise, 93 again at the airport. Actually, 94 was the official observed high temperature in between those hourly updates. 95 we got to at NAS Jax. So how about our future cast? Let's roll you through the rest of the evening. The showers and storms up to the north, likely to sink down to the south into the overnight hours. So possibly some rumbles of thunder lingering a couple of hours after sunset. And so we'll see those very vivid lightning strikes once it gets dark. Remember to just hang indoors, of course, if you are hearing those rumbles of thunder. The future cast tomorrow, again, those breezes coming out of the south. Watch how they begin to turn out of the west and then the north as we head throughout the afternoon. And as a result of those winds coming out of the northeast, I think that really limits our storm window tomorrow until after 2 to about 4 or 5 o'clock. So you can see how that cools us off a bit and also things quiet down into the evening hours. So let's take a look at your 7-day forecast for your Wednesday. Again, those pop-up storms likely after about 2 o'clock. Temperatures start in the mid-70s. They get back into the mid-90s. But then we see a bit of relief where we should be for this time of year to end off the work week.
All right, Lauren, so there are some states out there dealing with snow.
A lot of snow.
And
Yes.
you just told us there might be frost here tomorrow.
That's right. We have Florida snow possibly tomorrow on the grounds. But yeah, folks up in the New England states, they're talking about 2 feet of snow at least in some spots. We even have reports of 27 inches of snow on the ground in portions of New Jersey, and also really impressive totals across Massachusetts and into Connecticut and New York. Well, believe it or not, our very breezy winds are wrapping around behind this very strong and powerful system. We've got some high altitude clouds across northeast and north central Florida that are eroding away, moving down to the southeast. That's associated with our subtropical jet stream, and we've got high pressure that will move in on our Thursday, keeping things nice and sunny through about Friday. So satellite and radar right now, we do have a few clouds still across the area, especially northeast Florida, but southeast Georgia is already clear, and that's where temperatures are the coolest at this hour. We're dropping into the 40s across Waycross. We're at 37 degrees in Valdosta, and the 30s are going to be the story for many of us away from the coast and mainly west of the St. Johns River as we're waking up on our Thursday morning. Temperatures along the coast will be a bit warmer in the lower 40s, again thanks to those Atlantic Ocean temperatures still in the mid-60s. Frost advisory in place for everyone west of that Highway 301 corridor and north of Florida State Road 24, and the frost will mostly be likely in those wide open rural areas where our temperatures are going to be able to cool the most, talking about freezing to about 36 degrees. Those temperatures dropping rapidly and also the dew points rising as well. And then with the clear skies, boom, you've got our Florida snow or frost. Wind chills as well are going to be a story for the kiddos at the bus stop. We're going to see the feels like temperatures in the lower 30s as we approach daybreak, feeling about 30 degrees with that active northwest wind tomorrow morning. And then we are going to warm up slightly. Temperatures get into the lower 60s. However, it'll be feeling more like the upper 50s for much of the afternoon. 36 is our Thursday morning low temp for Jacksonville, and by the afternoon, we'll get to about 62 degrees with beautiful blue skies tomorrow, and that's going to be our story as well as we head into our Friday. Now, also of a concern is the fire weather danger on our Thursday. We had the issue today with the low humidity and the very breezy winds and just a lot of fuel for the fires across the area. No outdoor burning is recommended once again on your Thursday. For your 7-day forecast, things are looking beautiful as far as the blue skies go, but again, you're going to want to bundle up, dress in layers tomorrow. It'll feel very comfortable though in the bright sunshine. Once you step in that shade though, yep, it'll feel more like January versus early March. Rain returns and it's much needed by Sunday. Weekend has come and gone, but hey, there's still something to look forward to. The Jumbo Shrimp, they were back in town celebrating Southpaw's birthday this evening. They've got 4 more games on the rundown this week, Monday through Thursday. They will be having all of their first pitches at 7:05 against the Birmingham Barons. Temperature-wise, in the evening, we're talking upper 80s, heat index in the mid and upper 90s. If you want to avoid the rain, hint, hint, I think the best days to head out there would be Monday and Tuesday. But Jumbo Shrimp folks, if you're watching, I'm going to, of course, be crossing my fingers that we can squeeze in those games on Wednesday and Thursday as well. We have had a lot of rain delays with them so far this season. And hey, we got quite the light show late this evening with those storms that bubbled up thanks to the heat and the humidity of the day, kind of on the edge of a ridge of high pressure. So a good amount of instability to really keep those storms fired up. Recently, until the last hour or so, they were really producing a lot of rainfall and a lot of lightning strikes. Now, we have since quieted down. You can see that across Duval County. For the kids at the bus stop tomorrow, we'll have plenty of time to dry out by that morning commute. Temperature-wise, we'll be in the middle and upper 70s. It's going to be warm and muggy from the get-go, feeling like summertime still. And we'll have a good dose of sunshine for much of the day. If you're thinking after-school activities, late pickup for anything that's going on after school, Middleburg High and Bradford Middle in Stark, I've got you guys on the board to possibly see the better chance for those afternoon thunderstorms. They'll likely pop between Highway 301 and that I-95 corridor, and then any activity that develops will shift northeast as we head into the evening hours towards sunset. So here's your futurecast for your Monday afternoon. There it is. By about 5 o'clock, we see some of those downpours pop up, and they will shift towards the Atlantic coast into the evening hours with things dissipating likely an hour or so after sunset. Now, despite the rain, it's still going to be a hot one before we get any relief from the heat, feeling more like 100 degrees. Now, things actually begin to cool off, quote unquote cool off, getting into the upper 80s versus those low and mid 90s as we head towards the second half of the work week. And that's thanks to a cold front that drops south across the region and just parks itself over the first coast as we head into next weekend, which keeps those rain chances on the higher end of the scale.